And welcome to the Part-Time Nerd Podcast with me, your host, Alan. And joining me today is one Mr. Fancy Francis. How are you doing, buddy?
Oh man, I'm fantastic. How are
That's
you?
good to hear. You know what? I'm doing good. For me, so I just learned this just before we went live. We're going through the Resident Evil movies. This is the movie number one. This one came out in 2002. This one scored a 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb and 36% on Rotten Tomatoes, starring Mila Jovovich and Michelle Rodriguez. Are your two big stars in this. This is a revisit for me. I just found out you'd never seen these before.
Yeah, it's a first. I kind of thought that I've seen it before, but I think it's just because the name, like it's such a, it's a very famous movie. So I was like, I've probably seen it before.
Right.
But yeah, definitely didn't.
Okay. Now, did you play the Resident Evil games?
I have not.
Okay. See, it was something that I had tried and I played some, but I never liked the controls. Like it for me, it was the way the game controlled that I just didn't enjoy. I didn't like. So I never really got into them, but I 100% remember being all aboard for this. The first two, maybe the first three, I'll have to, once I watch the third one, I'll let you know. But I know the first two for sure. I watched them in the theaters. I own them. I remember really enjoying them. And so when I pulled up and I saw, the 36% on Rotten Tomatoes, I was like, really? And then I watched it. And it did not stand the test of time for me at all. Now, for you being the first time you're watching it, what were your thoughts?
So I started it, and pretty quickly I was like, what year is this from? Just because I felt like it was a lot older. The movie felt older than it really was.
Right.
So it came out in 2002. I swear it was probably 90s at some point, just because like the acting, like it just, I don't know, it just, the feel of it, I kind of felt like they were almost behind in the times. But I mean, that's just my opinion. Of course, I mean, I can't think like right off the top of my head. I should have looked this up of like what else movies came out in 2002 so I could compare it better, honestly. But
I'll tell you what came out, because
okay.
I thought of this like as I'm watching this movie popped into my head. So you're watching, and Alice is Mila Jovovich character. She wakes up and she has no idea what's going on. Like, she's trying to figure out what's going on. As you're going through it, you find out she's some sort of like security level person for the umbrella company, and she starts remembering she knows how to fight. And not only does she know how to fight, but she can fight really well. So I started thinking about the Bourne Identity. Like, I started thinking, is this Jason Bourne? And so I looked up when the Bourne Identity came out, the first one. It also came out in 2002.
Yeah, I'm clicking through top movies of 2002. I'm just like, a lot of these I felt like beat that movie easily. But anyway, so I guess whenever I stopped and I looked, I was like, okay, I just need to get in my head that it's just an old movie because we're in 2021. I had to look down my
19 years later, we're almost at the 20-year anniversary.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, now that I can put that past me, it's watching the movie. And at the first half of the movie, I felt like it was almost dubbed over.
The first 40 minutes were so slow. Like, nothing legit. Like, okay, yeah, you have the first part where the virus gets out and everyone's getting contaminated and they're locking down the hive and that, but nothing happened though. Like, literally, you could skip the first 40 minutes. You're good.
I wish I could remember his name, but the main soldier guy at the beginning that was like talking to her a lot.
Yeah.
Just his voice made it seem like somebody was dubbing over his voice. It was driving me crazy. It was so hard to look past that. So whenever I think whenever he died, I was like, honestly, I'm kind of happy. Like,
I'm okay with it. Like,
we're fine. We're
There
fine.
was nobody that you're really emotionally attached to in this
Yeah.
movie. Like you didn't get attached to anybody. And like Michelle Rodriguez's character, Rain, she got bit by like 60 times. Like
She lasted forever.
it was ridiculous. Like I didn't understand what was going on. I'm like,
Because she
okay,
had family.
probably family gets you through anything.
That's.
Um,
But
but yeah,
so, oh no, sorry. Go ahead.
no, it was just it almost had a B movie feel to it.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, I can also see the appeal of it.
It's based off a video game.
Yeah.
Nerds
So
show up in droves.
yeah. So that, and just like the movie in itself is a good idea.
Uh-huh.
Because the game itself, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, premise, everything about it. So I could see why people really liked the movie, because a lot of people I met loved the movie.
I don't know why I did. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
Yeah.
I watched it, and it was funny because, like, I was sitting there talking to Liz before I was coming in here. She's like, "What are you recording today?" And I was like, we're recording Resident Evil." She's like, "Oh, I love that movie." I go, "You know what? I thought I did too." And she's like, "What?" I go, "I just rewatched." I was like, "When was the last time you watched it?" She goes, "Oh, it's been 10 years." I go, "Yeah." I go, "You need to watch it again because
Yeah.
it did not stand the test of time for me." I was pretty disappointed in it. And it had that B movie feel to it. It really did.
Yeah.
Like,
So I mean, I'm very hopeful for the next few, because I mean, I can tell you this is probably gonna be on my bottom unless the other two are just amazingly bad.
well, I think we have at least 3, maybe 4 more.
Is there 4? Okay.
Yeah, I can't. I need. I'll look it up. But yeah, I think there's. I can't remember if there was 4 or 5, and then there's a new one coming out this next year.
Oh wow.
There's going to be a new Resident Evil movie coming out. Welcome to Raccoon City. Is what's coming out. But
So we'll have
yeah,
to
so
watch
you
that and do it.
had 6. Oh, there's 6 of these bad boys.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we got 5 more. Buckle up, Buttercup.
Hey, that's fine. As long as they get better, I'm happy.
And I don't know if they did. Like I'm looking at it right now, and I know I made it through the first 2. I might have seen the third one. Might have. I don't know for sure. I'll know when I watch it. But I
Yeah.
know the first 2 for sure because I own them. I might have even owned the third one.
I think the thing I probably would have wished out of the whole movie is the whole part where like she's getting her memory back slowly.
Right.
Was very frustrating more than anything else, because it's like, I don't really care. You know what I mean? It's just like, I mean, and it might just be because we've heard so many and we've watched so many stories like it where they have no memory, but they're like a secret assassin and they can slowly remember all this stuff. And like, oh, wow, all of a sudden I just karate chopped somebody. Okay, we haven't seen that before.
Right.
So, it's just like the parts where they wanted you to like really care about. I'm like, I don't. I've already seen this before.
There was no emotional attachment to any characters. Like there was no real character development. They didn't really make you care about anybody.
They tried, that's for sure.
God, like I said, I remember enjoying this movie. I remember watching this multiple times. I remember going to the theater and watching it, and I went and bought it. And I know I watched it after I bought it, but it just did not. I remember there being more action in it, and there's so little action in this. There isn't. And again, it's not an action movie, right? But I just remembered there being more to it, and there just really wasn't a lot. And the action that you had wasn't that great.
Yeah, it honestly makes me kind of want to play the video game to see if that's better.
The video games were it's a number one selling game, right? When I used to work at EB Games and GameStop. We used to sell the crap out of it. I would sell consoles just for this game because at a certain point in time, you can only play Resident Evil on Nintendo, and so like you would. The only reason why I sold GameCubes was either for Mario games or Resident Evil games. And to have people coming in looking for the new Resident Evil game, and I'm like, sorry, it's only on GameCube. You're gonna have to buy one. They'd be like, okay, I'm doing it. So they will buy a whole console just for that game. So
It's $20.
What's
The first Resident Evil game is still $20.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah.
This is an old game.
It's that horror genre.
1996 is whenever the game came out.
Yeah, these were original PlayStation, correct?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, these are original PlayStation. I mean, they were huge games. And you get to mention, like, at the end of it, they tell the guy, we want him for Project Nemesis. Nemesis was one of the Resident Evil games. I don't remember which one it was, but they were. I used to get crap all the time because I didn't like them, but it was literally just because of the way the controls worked. I didn't like the way the controls worked.
And that can ruin a game, truly.
Yeah. For me, that's what it was. But again, highly popular game. This movie, because I went and looked because I was curious, it had a $33 million budget and it made $102 million box office. So it was successful. It was highly successful. Making $102 million in the box office, that's nothing to sneeze at. Especially back in 2002, right?
For sure.
Yeah, it had a good budget. And Mila Jovovich, she's coming off of The Fifth Element, so you're really kind of expecting a lot. But I didn't think she was good. I don't know. I remembered it being better.
Yeah.
So.
I have higher hopes from the other ones, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I
better from here, right? Because I don't feel like it could get much worse.
I mean, considering that they made 6 of them, I can't imagine that it gets much worse.
I mean, they're doing something right?
Yeah.
If people keep showing up and you keep making them, and these were all box office. These weren't straight to DVD. None of these were straight to DVD, and they all star Mila Jovovich. She's in all of them.
Yeah. So I feel like if it just got worse and worse, like the nerds would do an uprise and they wouldn't make them anymore.
Yeah, they will.
So
turn their back on things for sure.
Yes, very quickly. So there's very high hopes for. I mean, even I looked at the ratings for even the next one. It's a lot higher rating than this one. So I have hopes.
Yeah, we'll see. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, follow, comment, all that fun stuff. If there's something you want us to watch, shoot over an email, parttimenerdpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later. Deuces.